Good evening to you wherever you're watching us from. Here in Nairobi, it is 9 p.m. I do hope you've had a wonderful day and you are finally coming to the end of it with fullness and gladness. My name is Consolata Chibalonzo. This is EBN TV Prime Edition. I am here to just gist you out on what has been happening in the world of politics, in the world of economics, and also in the world of sports. Tarry with me up to the very end. Remember, this is Wednesday, and every Wednesday we have a segment, Know Your Law, where today's episode we will be featuring immigration law. A lot has been going on, and we will feature that later on. But first of all, why don't we take a look at other news? Kicking us off, President William Samoei Ruto has ordered the reopening of all schools on Monday, May the 13th, 2024. This decision follows improved weather forecast indicating a decrease in heavy rainfall, which previously necessitated the postponement of schools reopening. Additionally, President Ruto has directed that funds for the reconstruction of infrastructure damaged by heavy rains be sourced from the National Government Constituency Development Fund, also known as NGCDF. Initially, schools were scheduled to open on April 29, 2024, but this date was later pushed to May 6, 2024 due to the rainfall. Now, I must also mention that of late, the cohort that is sitting for their KCSE this year is the same cohort that also got whose system of learning got disrupted where back in when COVID started. They were sitting for their KCPE or preparing for their KCPE exams. It is this same group of people who were born around the time when Kenya was going through one of the worst episodes, that is the 2007-2008 post-general election violence or demonstrations, as some would love to term it. Those people indeed have survived the worst, and indeed we thank God for them because they have emerged out as strong.
Schools were scheduled to reopen on Monday, 29th of April.
All parents are advised on the assessment of weathermen and on the assessment of the government of Kenya. It will now be safe, and we have made adequate arrangements. We have asked members of parliament, and we have provided resources through the NGCDF for repair of classrooms and other facilities, learning facilities across Kenya, and therefore all schools will be opened on Monday next week, and therefore parents must prepare their children to go to school. Tumekubaliana kama serikali ya kwamba kwa sababu wale weathermen wametuambia ya kwamba sasa mvua itazidi na kwenda chini, na hatutaki watoto wetu wakose nafasi pia ya term ya kusoma. Ningependa kutangaza ya kwamba shule zetu zote za Kenya zitafunguliwa Jumatatu ijayo.
Now, our very own Dr. Nganyi went to the streets and compiled the following report on the same.
Schools were scheduled to reopen on Monday, 29th of April, but the date was later postponed to May 6th after CS Ezekiel Machogu postponed it due to the ongoing heavy rains that are pounding the country. Then on Friday last week, the president issued a directive that schools will reopen after an indefinite time. Today, the president issued another directive that schools will open on Monday, May 13th, 2024. We were on ground at Buruburu and took some of the parents and students' views about the opening date in light of the recent heavy rains.
Kuna mtoto wa class 8 na form 3. Hapo sioni kama iko sawa juu still mvua iko, mavuriko iko, shule mingi zimefunikwa na maji. Watoto wengine ni wadogo, hata hawezi vuka hizi mitaro. Sasa hapo tunaona kuna risk, na still mvua inaanza kunyesha masaa ya mchana while watoto wako still shule. Solution, I think tunaweza goja mvua ishe juu hata COVID tuligojea hizo miezi zote. Na watoto still shule iliendelea tu kama kawaida.
Nasomea Kanga High School. Sasa vile president amesemeti tunarudi chuo, mimi sioni kaiko fiti juu unaona natumia njia Mai Mahiu Vile na usiuliona kwa news Mai Mahiu pia kuna venye nje imeharibika kiasi. Na pia na travel usiku na nifika asubuhi. Sasa unaona itakuwa somehow hectic kiasi. Juu pia naweza bakia kwa barabara nikienda shule unajua, si ndio? Sasa ndio maana mimi naona bado wa extend time kiasi.
My views about children reporting on school on Monday, I see that it's a bit early because there's still rains and floods. Like us, we live next to Kiambio, and the bridge, as you can see, the bridge is not yet completed. So the kids are supposed to round all the way to Bahati. And most of the kids are from Uhuru Primary, from Harambe, they're using that bridge. So they can't cross over the wooden thing. So it will be, and in case, again, there is security problem. Like for me, I can't allow my kid to cross using those wooden bridge because it's very risky. The kid can slide, or myself, I can slide and fall in the water.
Katika ya mashule anasema zifunguliwe, kunaye wazazi wenzetu wameathirika katika janga la mvua na mafuriko. Kwa hivyo kuna bado baadhi ya wazazi wetu na watoto wetu wako ngali mahali pale na wajaondoka mahali pale, na bado kuna mabarabara bado yamefurika, maboma zao zimefurika. So sisi kama wazazi bado tunaonelea bado kuna uzito fulani,
na ningependa kusema kama shule yangu iko karibu hapa, ni vizuri tu tukifungua, juu tena itaenda kama ile system ya corona, na hiyo itakuwa very bad, itatukatizia kwa masomo, juu mingi tulilack mingi last time na tuwezi penda kulack tena this time.
Tunaomba kwamba tukuwe na kitu ambayo inaitwa protocol mzuri ya serikali, ya kwamba kama hakuna shule tunabriefiwa mapema, ndio tunakaa sisi kama wazazi tusiumia kwa mfuko, na ile hali hiyo pesa ambayo tumetoa hatutarudishiwa na watoto kuhangaika kwa magari.
Those are some of the parents and students' views, and most of them are asking the government to consider pushing the reopening date to allow for the floods and heavy rain situation to quell down. Dr. Ngani reporting for EBN TV.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Ngani. That was an amazing report. Now, still on the president, he has declared Friday, May 10th of this year as a public holiday for the planting of over 200 million trees and 2, remembrance of those affected by the floods. Additionally, the full tree planting initiative will be launched on that day with the aim of conserving the environment to restore better environmental conditions. President Ruto has urged all Kenyans to plant 50 trees each to combat the effects of climate change in the country.
Kila Mkenya Ijumaa ijayo, tukikumbuka matatizo ambayo tumepata, hata maisha ambayo yamepotea, kwa heshima hiyo na kwa sababu tunajua suluhu kamili ya matatizo haya ya climate change ni kushughulikia mambo ya mazingira, tuweze kupanda miti, tuweze kushirikiana serikali nzima. Ijumaa hii tarehe 10, sote kama Wakenya tutaungana, tupande miti na tujue ya kwamba suluhu kamili ya matatizo ya kiangazi na mafuriko ni kushughulikia mambo yetu ya mazingira. We are going to be united. Na naomba kila Mkenya, mahali ambapo kila Mkenya yupo, tupande miti. Kama inawezekana, kila Mkenya apande miti 50 Ijumaa. Kila Mkenya, mahali popote alipo, pande miti 50 Ijumaa. Tunataka kama inawezekana, tupande miti milioni 200 Ijumaa, ili tuanze safari ya kukabiliana na matatizo ya climate change ama kuharibika kwa mazingira, ndio tuweze kuzuia kiangazi na tuweze kuzuia mafuriko.
In challenging times such as widespread flooding affecting many parts of the nation, today, the wife of the President, Rachel Ruto, visited Kitengela in Kajiado County to provide aid to flood victims. Essential goods and food were also distributed in collaboration with the national government, the county government, and other organizations that came together to provide various forms of assistance.
Initiative yako ya Mama Do Good imetugusa kama wananchi wa Kajiado. Jameni, watu wa Kitengela, mama, kufika siku ya leo tukiwa tumeadhirika, si ni upendo? Ebu tuonyeshe mikono ya furaha kwa mama yetu, mama wa taifa. Mswahili anasema akufaaye kwa dhiki ndiye nani? Si mama wetu wa taifa ni rafiki yetu.
Nashukuru kwa sababu mama amesikia kilio. Tumepigwa sana na janga hili katika nchi yetu ya Kenya. Karibu kila kaunti imeweza kuadhirika. Na leo mama yuko hapa, tulikuwa naye Kibira, tulikuwa naye pia kule Narok, na leo yuko hapa aseme pole kwenu. Mama, tunakushukuru kwa sababu mbali na kutembea na kuja kusema pole kwa hao wapendwa, mengi ni maombi uliyoyatuma kwa Baba Mwenyezi Mungu kwa ajili ya taifa hili na kwa ajili ya hili janga ambalo limetufika.
Tuna furaha sana leo kuwa na wewe leo, tukiwa na maneno ya kusaidia walioathirika. Hapa Kitengela ni mito ndio zilifungwa, na nafikiri kama serikali tutawajibika kuwaomba wale ambao wamejenga njia za maji waondoke, na kwa sababu ya hiyo njia za maji kufungwa, maji kaenda kwa nyumba ya watu. Wengi hawa ni watu walikuwa wanaishi mahali hawakujua kwamba ni njia za maji, lakini sasa tumejionea, tunajua, na tukikuja kama serikali kuambia watu wasonge, sasa wameona wao wenyewe. Kwa hivyo leo hapo nakuja kusaidia watu ambaye wamepitia shida kubwa kwa sababu ya maji kuingia makwao na kuwa displaced, na kwa hivyo it is very fitting kwamba umekuja kuwa na wao. La pili, Your Excellency, sehemu za Magadi ndio sasa sehemu imeathirika pakubwa. Maji kutoka Narok, Mau Forest huko imekuja ikakata njia za maji ikaenda na daraja. Hiyo sasa ni maneno ya ndege kuwafikia hao, lakini bado serikali kupitia njia za ndege, msaada wa Red Cross na sisi kaunti tumewafikia, lakini hata nao bado wanahitaji sana hiyo msaada. As people of Kajiado, tuna support juhudi zake katika ujenzi wa taifa.
As heavy rains continue to cause disasters in different parts of the country, local manufacturers have provided food aid to flood victims in various areas of Machakos County. This assistance was channeled through their business union to support those significantly affected by the floods. Leaders from this union have urged well-wishers to come forward and help many affected communities, emphasizing unity to ensure that the affected receive assistance. Rachel Ruto, accompanied by Kajiado Governor Odile Lenku and MP Kakuta Maimai, oversaw the distribution of aid to flood victims.
Machakos County continues to experience severe flooding due to the ongoing heavy rains reported in most parts of the country. So far, the tally of the residents killed as a result of the flooding currently stands at 22 people. And you know the country has lost close to 200 people. At least 15,000 families have been displaced from their homes and up to 25,000 households affected.
We are very interdependent. So that means we should not be waiting for calamities to bring us together. We must learn to talk early, to plan ahead, to put together the infrastructure that allows business to thrive so that the county can continue doing its work of service delivery to its people.
This is just probably the beginning. As we see what is happening on the ground, we are here to assist as the quarry sector of Machakos to each and every person where possible so that they are not very heavily affected in terms of what has happened after the floods.
The case involving the dismissal of Agriculture Sector CS Mithika Linturi is ongoing in parliamentary chambers. A committee led by Marsabit Women Representative Naomi Wako is tasked with investigating CS Linturi regarding the subsidized fertilizer scandal. The committee aims to submit its report next Monday during a special session convened by Speaker Moses Wetangula. These sessions will continue for 3 consecutive days until Friday, when the committee will withdraw to compile its report.
A minister holds that office in trust. A minister must be trusted. A minister has a duty to give the right information to Kenyans. As we will be demonstrating, this minister, my good friend, the Honorable Mithika Linturi, on this case of fertilizer, he gave the Kenyan public information over the same subject, 4 versions. Initially, there was no fertilizer. There is no fake fertilizer. Initially, there's only 3,000 bad fertilizer on the market. But the minister went ahead to even tell Kenyans about soil moisturizer. Honestly, we shouldn't have reached here. We should not even be discussing this matter, because Kenyans need to discuss the minister. Kenyans need the truth and nothing but the truth. As we will be demonstrating, this is not the first time we have scandals in that ministry. As part of the reasons why, if you go through a submission, the minister should be impeached. This is not the first scandal in the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development. We had the sugar scandal. Kenyans kept quiet. Someone had to speak, Madam Chair, about this.
When Learned Counsel Kamino tries to trivialize this matter, it pains me because it doesn't know how painful it is. Because, Chairman, there is no, in the history of the judicial system, nowhere, and this matter has ever been done or conducted live on TV. It was mine. And that was the reason when Dr. Muthoni Nyankole tries to contextualize this story, then it's not taken seriously. Just like as mentioned, there is a judgment there by Ongundi, which clearly in a paragraph says that is what happened. That as we look into this matter, let us really look at the matter on the basis of evidence and the fact. I am ready to defend myself, and I really know the pain that the number of farmers that already interacted with the few bags of fertilizer. I really feel for them, and I've taken corrective measures from the ministry. Those people that we believe were culpable, I've already taken plea, and Chairman, I want to leave it at that, but it's very painful for me because when I took over the ministry, the country was in a crisis, didn't have food. We were trying to import food. We've produced 67 million bags within the first year. And when we are telling people going back to the farms, I thank the farmers that came to listen.
In a motion raised in Parliament to remove Minister Linturi from office, leaders from Meru County have stepped forward to defend Agriculture CS Mithika Linturi against allegations, saying the motion to remove him is spearheaded by malicious enemies. Speaking in Maua Town, the leaders accused some members of the Kenya Kwanza faction of being traitors within President Ruto's government, stating that his removal will significantly affect the agriculture sector.
Vile sisi tulishikana na tukasimama na wewe na watu wa Rift Valley na tukasema kiti ende Rift Valley, pia tafadhali tunamuomba nyinyi msimame na sisi wakati tuko na shida. Kijana yetu Waziri Mithika Linturi asikaulizwe swali dogo ama kubwa.
Mheshimiwa Rigathi Gachagua, our deputy president, nshamba ito ya Rorere, our Mount Kenya leader, Mithika akiguzwa hata wewe huko pali pazuri. Simama na kijana yetu. This is the only CS that we have in Meru, and we know that when Mithika is safe, the people of Meru will be safe and the people of Kenya will be safe.
Kwa hivyo tunaomba His Excellency the Deputy President, His Excellency the President, usikubali kuharibiwa serikali yako kwa kutolewa the best performing minister wa agriculture, Mheshimiwa Mithika Linturi. Tunaomba wakati wa Wameru kujua ya kwamba rais wetu unapenda Wameru na pia unapenda Wakenya ni sasa.
Na niseme ya kwamba wale walitengeneza fertilizer wanafaa kuwa wameshikwa ndani. Si Mithika Linturi alitengeneza fertilizer. Kuna wale ambao walitengeneza hiyo fertilizer, kuna wale ambao waliuza hiyo fertilizer, kuna KEBS ambayo ili approve hiyo fertilizer, au ndio wanafaa kukua ndani, si Mithika Linturi kusumbuliwa. Sisi kama Wameru tunasimama na Mithika Linturi.
Still with the case to remove the Cabinet Secretary of Agriculture, Mithika Linturi, commencing today, residents from Bungoma County urged the government to ensure their safety after Bumula MP Wamboka Wanami hinted that his life is in danger. Speaking in Bungoma County to journalists, residents stated that the proposal to oust Linturi is supported by many MPs representing the people.
I also want to thank the able leadership of KMPDU, who believe on one thing, that justice must be done and must be done now.
Kushukuru wale wapunge ambao walisapoti Mheshimiwa Chaka Wanami Wamboka mpunge wa Bumula, ile motion ambayo ilipeleka kule pungeni ya kumtimua waziri wa kilimo Mr. Linturi, ambaye amenyanyasa Wanakenya wote, ambaye ameumiza Wanakenya, ambaye mara ya kwanza alileta sukari ambaye iliumiza watu, akaleta sukari ambayo hasa sana sikizi tukiangalia watu wengi wamepata ugonjwa wa kansa. Vile muta kitoko pata ya sukari ndio ameleta tena mbolea, na ameleta mbolea instead ya mbolea ameleta ile utoka ambayo ameleta kuhusia watu, na watu wameumia kama watu wakulima katika nchi yetu ya Kenya. Sasa tunaomba, tunashukuru wale wapunga ambao wamesimama na mpunge wa Bumula. Tunawashukuru sana, hasa sana wapunge wetu wa Bungoma, wakiwemo Mheshimiwa Makali, Mheshimiwa Tani Wanyama na wengine, tunawashukuru sana.
Kisa na maana ya Mheshimiwa Jack kupitisha hii mswada ni kwa sababu CS mwenyewe ni kama hajielewi, ni kama anaona kuna vita, ni kama anaona anasukumwa. So sisi tungeomba yeye a step aside, kwa sababu imefika wakati sisi kama wakaaji wa Bungoma na wakulima pia wa Bungoma wanahisi kuwa serikali izidi kuwasikiza, serikali izidi kufanya vitu ambazo Wakenya wanataka. Kama kuna mtu mahali amepatikana na makosa, ama watu wanahisi kuwa kiongozi fulani hafanyi kazi venye inatakikana, ni vyema pia serikali isukume, kwa sababu huko nyuma ulikuwa unaona waziri kama kuna shida mahali anawekwa kando, uchunguzi inafanywa, kama hana makosa anarudi, kama ana makosa wanafanya marekebisho. So sisi tumesimama siku ya leo hapa tukikataa na tukipinga kama wakaaji wa Bungoma na Western. Wakaaji wa Bungoma tusirudi nyuma, kwa sababu tunakumbuka mwenzangu venye amesema pale nyuma 2013, I think it was 2013 or 2016, tuliletewa mbolea ambayo ilikuwa ni scam. Mchanga ilikuwa imemixiwa na vitu zingine na ilitudhuru. Ungeangalia Mount Elgon ilikuja ikaleta shida sana kwa mashamba. Na wakati huu pia na hii mbolea ambayo tuliletewa, wengi hawakuielewa na wengi wakaitumia. Na utakuja kupata na hii mvua ni mashamba zinaendelea kuharibika. So mimi ningewahisi watu wa Bungoma na ningewaadvise tuendelee kusupport Jack Wamboka, tuendelee kusupport viongozi wetu.
Good news, finally, after 56 days, the prolonged doctors' strike has finally come to an end following negotiations between the Kenya government and the Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union, also known as KMPDU, today evening. Through KMPDU Secretary General Davji Atala, they have signed to return to work. Atala stated that they have held discussions with government stakeholders, including the Ministry of Health, agreeing to some of their demands while pledging to address doctors' future demands. Doctors have been given 24 hours to return to work after their grievances have been heard.
I also want to thank the able leadership of KMPDU, who believe on one thing, that justice must be done and must be done now. And so from the document that we had a very long meeting today with our National Advisory Council, that is the highest decision-making organ. And they endorsed that we signed this particular return to work formula today so that it can pave way for the doctors to resume work within 24 hours from now. And that means a strike that began on 13th of March 2024 has been called off. The government has insisted to us that they are different government, there are different persons in office, that we need to believe in them, that they are not conmen. And therefore, we have decided that despite having said and stated that we do not go home with promissory notes, we have decided to take the promise for the last time. But as we take this, I must say that one of the fundamental issues, that is the matter of doctor interns, is still pending. This matter was filed in court in Eldoret. This matter has been part of the conversations. And we could not come to a particular agreement because the union was for the opinion that the doctor intern must be posted immediately as per the CBA, while the government was for the opinion that we have to await for the court litigation that is ongoing in Eldoret before we come to an agreement. But there we have a joint caveat that is going on. All the doctor interns, that is the medical officer interns, the pharmacist interns, and the dentist interns will have to wait a little bit longer. We have agreed on a 60 days period that they will not be posted, but we'll be having conversations on this issue. It then means that as this matter in court is ongoing, we'll also be having conversation. But one thing we must assure everybody, every doctor and every person, that the rights of workers are enshrined in a collective bargaining agreement that is signed, that is sacrosanct. We will always endeavor to protect that.
Over the years, our African countries have had limited access to technology in African schools. This has made children from African schools trail behind their counterparts in more developed countries. Smart Brains Company, as a private sector, has been on the front line to provide solutions so as to ensure that Kenyan children get an opportunity to learn computer science, coding and robotic skills at a tender age. On Tuesday, they issued 250 laptops to children from Kinderstart Primary at Buruburu, Nairobi County to ensure a continuity in their studies in these difficult times when schools are closed due to the ongoing floods across the country.
As part of their journey and the mission of empowering Kenyan children to get quality computer skills, Smart Brains Company today issued 250 laptops to children at Kinderstart Primary School in Buruburu, Nairobi County. It is among the 102 schools they have been partnering with, whereby the company has been providing schools with well-trained coding tutors, quality coding and robotic lessons, as well as a custom result-oriented curriculum as a community social responsibility. The idea was influenced by the need of the company to continue to be valuable to schools, outlining a big sense of humanity at these difficult times. The country has been experiencing floods which has made it difficult for schools to resume to their second term season. By issuing laptops, it will ensure a continuity of studies at home with the aid of their parent. In addition, Mr. Lemuel Kinyanzui, who is also the founder of the program, noted that the program has a customer care assistance which will help to solve complexities when operating the gadget at home.
So thank you so much for being here. My name is Lemuel Kinyanzui and I am the founder and CEO of Smart Brains. Today we are here at Kinderstart Schools and we are doing a corporate social responsibility supported exclusively by Smart Brains Kenya. And our mission today is to help schools like Kinderstart to be able to continue with education in the midst of these floods. What we are doing is we are giving every family a laptop, and and also the teachers also getting laptops so that they can be able to continue to teach from online from the comfort of their homes.
The company operates with a belief that our Kenyan children need to get an opportunity to get coding skills. With the changes in technology in the modern world, Kenyan system of education is on the race to adapt to the changing world despite its limited access. Limited access to technology has left our African countries trail behind of the more developed countries. So far, they have issued laptops to over 200 schools and all have embraced the importance of equipping children with technology skills such as coding so as to prepare them not only to be technology consumers but also the creators of the technology product. With the private sector such as SmartBrains being on the front line to provide solutions, Mr. Lemuel further noted that he is optimistic that other service providers will come in to help in more solutions to make coding a basic subject taught like any other subject in many schools.
At SmartBrains, we are a company that is driven by a genuine belief that Kenyan learners deserve an opportunity to learn how to code. Our work involves supporting schools so that they are able to provide quality computer science lessons. We do that by providing them with qualified coding teachers. We also provide them with laptops and a proven result-oriented curriculum that has been running now in 102 schools.
Finally, one of the parents who accompanied her child in receiving the gadget from SmartBrains expressed her gratitude and thanked the company whose tide of favor swung on their side.
Jina ni Isabel Wangui, mzazi hapa. Mtoto wangu ako darasa la kwanza, and I believe it will help with the techno of they'll get more knowledge on how to use this computers, tablets, and cover most of the things that they will be they are learning and know how to go about them on their own on the computer. So yes.
Reporting for EBN TV, I'm McDonald.
Now, the Kenya Under-17 national team junior starlets coach Mildred Cheche has named 23 players as the travelling squad for the FIFA Under-17 World Cup qualifiers first leg match against Ethiopia, scheduled to be played on Friday, May 10th, 2024 in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. The second leg of the third round of the FIFA Under-17 World Cup qualifiers will be played here in Kenya on the 19th of May, Sunday, 2024 at Ulinzi Sports Complex. After the two legs, the winner of the tie on aggregate will proceed to the fourth and final round, where they will face either Djibouti or Burundi. That marks the end of EBN TV Prime Edition. But before we go, in December, Kenya President William Ruto announced a new visa regime in which no one from across the world will require a visa to enter the country. His argument for scraping visas to Kenya, a hub for tourism and non-profit work, was that every human being historically has roots in Kenya's Turkana County, and that it was absurd for children of the soil to require authorization to come back home. But then came the implementation of the policy, which has led many travelers to say the new visa policy, rather than the ease travel to Kenya, has complicated it. Instead of visas, Kenya now has the ETA, which the government says was introduced to ensure security and get a database of all those entering and exiting the country. It has received mixed reviews. Citizens of countries that had not needed a visa to travel to Kenya now have to pay $34 to $52 to secure authorization to enter the country. Now, during a Muslim leaders' iftar dinner at State House Nairobi on the 8th of April this year, Ruto said the government was amending the guidelines on ID card issuance to abolish the process which he described as discriminatory. The president announced the abolishment of vetting during the national ID card application process for members of certain ethnic groups starting May. The process involves the applicants, often Asians, Arabs, and Nubians, who are not considered indigenous communities, being required to provide proof of Kenyan citizenship to be issued with ID cards. It has for years sparked condemnation as the government is accused of ethnic and religious discrimination. So what exactly is the way forward in the immigration sector? Where do we stand and where are we coming from? This was the discussion we were to have today with Theophilus Matundura, who, due to unavoidable circumstances, was not able to get here on time. That was the topic of Know Your Law, but I do promise that we will have him on board and this discussion will be tabled, and finally we will understand our rights as citizens, rights of immigrants, as well as the rights of people who are in this country, have been born in this country, but because of one or two reasons cannot access their rights to citizenship. My name is Consolata Chibalonza. I wish you a very good night, and until next time, God bless.